Alright, hey, so I enjoyed the news segment that I did last week, so I decided I'm going to do it again. And a couple things that are different. Mainly, I did use Delicious and marked some stuff, saved some stuff over this past week that I wanted to mention. And then I'll do just sort of looking at sites for a few minutes and seeing if there's anything that I see that I want to mention. And I'll start with a few things that I've been up to personally. Um, so what I've been up to personally, well, I did a Cooler Master Half X review, and that went up today. And I'm very pleased with it. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think it's nice. I like it. Stuff before that. I'm trying to think of what I actually did. I did do that the bike video, my mountain bike, the Banshee Morphine. I did a video of that, which I like as well. And I do apologize for any of the, you might have noticed some of the videos are 720 and they have kind of a hissing noise or a buzzing noise or a noise in the sound, and that's the Nikon camera. For some reason it does do that with the sound, and it also doesn't focus well. So I'm going to not be using the Nikon camera for any videos if I can possibly help it. I'm going to try to use either this one, which is the Canon G11, and it does 4x3, which I actually do like. 4x3, I know 4x3 is kind of an older format, but I do like it. Or I will use the good camera that I normally use, which is the Canon S100, which it's a little slow with the autofocus as well, but it's much better than the Nikon. And it's it's full 1080p, 35 megabytes per second is what it records, and I usually compress. I use 8 megabits per second, or megabytes per second, sorry, in Premiere Pro, and I do variable bitrate to pass for most of the 1080 videos, and I think I found that looks good. The only thing about that camera is that it's 24 frames per second, or 23.9, or whatever that. I think it's the same as films, and so it looks a little bit, sort of, you can see the jerkiness to the frame rate a little bit, but I think the 1080p quality certainly makes up for that. Games, what I've been up to, games and TV stuff. I played Dragonborn. I got Dragonborn, and I played that. And I haven't actually, that little video that I put up, the clip where I meet the cultists, and they start a thing. Then you have to go to that location that's marked to start the Dragonborn stuff. I actually just did that, like the part that you saw. Actually haven't gone any further than that, so I haven't really been playing Dragonborn, but I have been playing sort of Skyrim and just working on skills and stuff. So I've been doing that. Haven't really played Grand Theft Auto at all since last week, I don't think, and I haven't really played Tomb Raider or any of the other stuff. Bioshock Infinite is looking really nice, and I'm probably going to get that, but I'll probably wait for it to go on sale at some point. And the other games I mentioned last week as well, I'm looking to get those, but probably when they go on sale. Stuff I've been watching. Well, Dexter is what I am have been watching mainly. Mad Men's back, so I'm watching that. The new show I've got to watch, which is Bates Motel. I haven't actually watched it yet, so I can't comment on whether it's good or not, but it's got a good rating on IMDb. I think it's 8.1, and I am planning to watch that. There's 5 episodes. It's a fairly new show, so I'm going to start watching that. I'm trying to think what else. I have photos. Just check the you know, my Twitter or my blog or Facebook or anywhere. I almost said any old place, which is a weird thing to say. It's not something that I would actually say, so I don't know why I almost said that. But check any of those places, and you know, I take photos every day pretty much, and what I usually do is make a set on Flickr for that day, and what I have been doing is coming up with a name, usually inspired by one of the photos in the set, and then calling that set of photos for that day by that name, and then I'll tweet out that link, share it on Facebook, and then my favorite photos out of the set will be you know, on Tumblr, on my blog, and then some of them will eventually make their way to the website. So I appreciate it if anyone who wants to look at the photos. That's very nice, and I appreciate that. Also, anyone who wants to like the videos, you know, it's you know, I don't like talking about everyone. You know, always goes, you know, like, subscribe, favorite, you know. So if you want to, that's nice, and I appreciate that. I realize my range of products that I'm having a look at is still limited, since it's limited to stuff I have around here at this point. But I'm going to try to expand the range of products that I look at as time goes on, and hopefully the quality of the videos will also increase as time goes on. The HalfX video, for example, is something that I'm pretty proud of. I actually like the quality of it quite a bit. So I think that's enough what I've been doing for now. If I think of something else later, I'll mention it. So I'm just going to head over to my delicious bookmarks here, and I'll go to my tag where the stories are marked for this week, and then I will have a look at that stuff. I'll just go in order here. So HyperX RAM now with PCBs, black PCBs. And before I actually continue on that, I'm just going to check to yeah, I don't think I marked it, so I'm just going to mention, before I mention that, something else from the same channel, which is Awesome Sauce News, the Newegg guy. PC gaming on LGA 219 monitor GTX Titans 2A. So this monitor here looks pretty nice, and the one thing I was a little bit disappointed about when I first saw this monitor was that it's not a higher resolution width-wise than a normal 27-inch for like 1440, but it's actually less height. So it's 1080p height, and it's 2560 wide, as far as I know. I believe that's correct. So resolution-wise, it's actually less resolution than a 27-inch 1440 monitor. Games look pretty nice on it. Not all of the games supported it, but the games look nice on it. As far as actually stressing the GPUs, like I said, the resolution width-wise is not wider than a 27-inch. And sorry, I thought I was going to cut because I thought someone was coming in to talk, but apparently not, so I won't. The resolution is not wider than a 27-inch, and it's actually less resolution height, like I said. So as far as stressing the GPU, it should actually stress the GPU less, in just judging by resolution, than a 27-inch. The games look pretty nice. The wide aspect ratio is pretty good. The problem, though, as far as using it on a daily basis for normal stuff, unlike like using it for stuff that's not gaming, is that I don't really like 1080 height. I think it's not as much as I'd like height-wise. So even the 27-inch 1440 height, it's not as much as I would like. I prefer the 30-inch 2560 by 1600. That was more my ideal pixel height as far as productivity stuff and getting stuff done. So a resolution that's very wide, but only 1080 height, I don't think I would like that very much personally for daily stuff, but I will say that games looked pretty nice on it. The next thing here was HyperX Beast with black PCBs. So HyperX Beast, what do I think of it? I think it looks similar to Ripjaw Z, actually. The black version of Ripjaw Z, I think it looks similar to that. I like HyperX stuff a lot, the looks of it. The only thing I don't like about HyperX is the X. I don't actually like, this is like a little thing, of course, but I don't actually like the look of X's that much. So when the RAM, like the HyperX series of stuff, has the big X in the logo at the end, and I don't like that much, especially the font they use where it's kind of curved and stuff. So I wish they would just sort of leave it out and not have that. As far as the look, I mean, black PCBs, people have been doing that for a long time, other companies. Alright, I just noticed that the last frame actually had like a little bit of the duvet cover sticking in the corner, and I'm so fussy that something like that kind of bugs me, because I just don't, I'm always thinking in terms of framing. So anytime something's sort of sticking into the frame a little bit, even if it doesn't matter at all, like this is just me sitting here talking, so it doesn't matter at all, of course, but it still sort of bugs me. So the other thing I have here is water, because you'd be surprised maybe if you've never done it, just sitting and not having a conversation where it's two-way, so you kind of get a break for some of the time. But if you're just sitting and talking for like an hour and a half straight without any breaks, my mouth was so dry by the end of the other one. So I have a cup of water here for this time. I also have snacks and stuff here, but I'm not going to eat on camera because I hate when people do that, and I couldn't do it anyway because I'm talking the whole time. So the HyperX Beast stuff, it's not a big deal, but I don't really like the X part. The Beast stuff looks really good and really nice. I like the font that they're using in the lower left-hand corner, just the Kingston in white, and the, it's one of those heat sinks that's like not my favorite design ever, but I do like it. And with memory, once you get into the board and it's in there, it's it looks good because it's black, and you don't really notice the fine details of the design that much. So it's good, but I do prefer the design of the HyperX Predator stuff, both this current generation and the last generation. The only problem with blue stuff, though, is that it's not going to go with everything, but with black stuff, it's going to go with just about everything. One of the things I watched that's not new or anything, but it was the Ryan Trout at PC Perspective, his Z77 mPower launch video. So it was like an hour review supplement type of video where he had the guy from MSI on, and he talked about the board and the product, and they showed a little bit of footage of the MSI mPower boards all lined up on a shelf, getting the 24/7 burn-in test that they get, and so that was neat and nice. They also talked a bit about the Twin Frozen series of coolers, and those are growing on me. I always liked the smaller blue one that you get with the like the Hog and the Power Edition. The Lightning one, I always liked it, but the one thing I sort of didn't like before was the GPU reactor thing, and even the guy from MSI said it's not really for air cooling. The only time you're going to notice the actual real-world performance differences is with LN2 type stuff, which, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he actually meant by that, because if you're actually putting the, I guess if you're putting the CPU, if you're putting the card under LN2, you're not going to have the stock heatsink on it, probably, or maybe you'll have the backplate. I can't actually say for sure what he meant by that. I'm not even familiar with the way you do LN2 on video cards. I've seen it done where you've got like like 4 video cards usually wrapped in like paper towel or rags and stuff like that. But I think there's like the equivalent of the little CPU caddy thing that you pour LN2 into. So I'm not sure what he meant by that, but basically, aesthetics wise, it's growing on me a little bit. It's kind of like a thing that kind of sticks out in your face, and it's got the blue glow on it. So it's one of those things. It's not that subtle really, but I do like it. I like the little blue LEDs that shine through the fan on the fan side of the Lightning cards. The Lightning cards are definitely pretty nice. Alright, so moving on to the next series of thing here. 600D. So people, I assume the embargo was lifted on the 900D today because the Tiny Tom Logan has his 900D video, and also Linus from Linus Tech Tips has his. And the Linus one I was very pleased with because he did about half an hour, which is longer than he usually did, and he did look at the case pretty thoroughly. He didn't talk about specific water tooling setups that you could potentially do or anything, but he did cover the basics of the case and all the case features pretty well, and he did make some comments about the quality of various things, which is good. I like Linus. I think he's a nice guy. I like his live streams a lot. When him and Slick do the live streams, those are fun. But I just wish that he would do, because for less, like quick unboxings and stuff, and more, well, not less of those, same amount of those potentially, but just more in-depth reviews as well. But he mainly does the unboxing stuff on his actual Linus Tech Tips channel, and then he's obviously started the Linus Media Group now, and so he's got the Tech Quickie channel, which is where the more high production value stuff goes, and so he's been shooting commercials for various companies, tech companies, and he puts them up on there. But obviously that's not like a review either, that's just a commercial. So I like him a lot, and I like his live streams, but I do wish he would do more review type stuff. And then Tom's video, I think, was 1 hour 45 minutes, 44 minutes, very long. I only watched the first 30 minutes of it, but I will watch the rest. But what I've gathered from the 900D so far, I haven't seen it in person yet, of course, but just by what I can see from the videos, it looks pretty solid and pretty good. I like the look of the front a lot. I think it looks very elegant and minimal, which I like. Some of the panels, though, look like that top panel with the mesh. You've got to like click it in and I think slide it in a certain way, and it looked like it could be a bit, a little bit not great fit. So it's a little hard to get that roof panel on. And even the roof panel, it didn't look completely flat. It looked a little bit like it was warped a bit. But that's just nitpicking at this point. The basement door thing, that looked like good quality when it was opened and shut. It was making some nice noises, like good quality steel. I like the flexibility, how you can have, in the basement you can have just the mesh part, or you can have the cover that also lets some airflow through, and with the front you can have that cover that makes it look more minimal, or you know, you can just take the cover off if you want and run it with just mesh. And you know, so all that stuff is nice. The big window is that's the kind of window I like to see. It's very nice. There's a little bit of flex to the door because it's so huge for one thing, and then it's got you know, mostly plexiglass, and then just a little bit of metal door material around the edges. So it's got a little bit of flex, but nothing too drastic. So it looks like a really solid, good case. You know, I don't think it's Case Labs level thick steel, and you know, the same sort of caliber of steel that Case Labs uses, but it's not Case Labs price either. So you can't hold it to a case that's not the same price range. As far as features wise, I think it really does give some of the Case Labs cases a run for their money in terms of the types of, you know, apparently it supports 7 rads and some crazy amount of fans. I don't even remember how many fans, but it's pretty solid. It looks good from what I've seen so far, so I'm pleased with that. I'd like to see Corsair, you know, sort of putting out some new stuff, and I'd like to see what they can come up with. Alright, so the next thing here, well, the next thing was Bates Motel. I've already talked about that. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I really like the look of this. I think the sort of 80s theme, sort of cheesy action, you know, video games and movies and stuff, that whole theme I think is really, it's fun and it's kind of cool. And there's some videos, gameplay videos already on YouTube, so I guess there's a pre-release version that some people got. And it looks fantastic. The trailer looks like a lot of fun. The graphics look really cool. Not like, you know, obviously the graphics are Far Cry 3 graphics, but the design of everything looks really cool, and I'm definitely going to get that and play it when it comes out. And I think it comes out on the 30th. So I'm pleased with that. Looks good. The next thing here was a rumor. AMD to unleash the Centurion FX at 5 GHz. So they're saying here that AMD is going to be releasing a high-priced chip. Basically, the stock clock is going to be 5 GHz, and they're saying the price is going to be $795, and you know, it's kind of insane to sort of take that in and it's sort of hard to take that in and process it, I guess, because it's like AMD's not been doing anything like that recently. That's priced like an Extreme Edition nearly. The price is, you know, it's in between the regular 2011, like the 3930K, and the Extreme Edition 2011 stuff. So it's in between that price wise. It says here. So how about this as a rumor for a Friday morning? Though AMD will never go on record to confirm this, we have it on good authority that the chip maker will be releasing a Super FX chip based on the same Vishera architecture powering the current FX 8350. So just going by that, how can they base something on the same architecture as the 8350? You know, that's clocked higher, and have it be in Extreme Edition price ranges, and I'm assuming that if they're going to be pricing it like almost at Extreme Edition prices, that they're going to be performing at that rate. So it's hard to sort of, you know, take that in. This new FX, codenamed Centurion, will be made available in very limited quantities. Okay. The so-called Centurion is guaranteed to run at 5 GHz on air, though we don't know exactly what voltage or supporting hardware will be required for this lofty speed. Here's the kicker. Our sources indicate, this is from Hexus by the way, our sources indicate the chip is set to cost a whopping $795. This is not a typo. Yep. Back to the pricing of FX chips of old. Is there any way that you, the readers, can count so they're basically saying, is there any way that you can sort of imagine paying that much for a chip that's based on the same architecture as the 8350, a chip, an architecture that's been in the doldrums, is what they say. Let us know on the forums. So it's saying, let us know on the Hexus forums what you think of that. And I actually haven't looked at any forums, so I don't know what people think. I'd say they probably think it's wacky. But it's interesting. I mean, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, Power DVD Ultra is out, and it plays 4K stuff, as I imagine that's the main feature. It's also saying that it's going to take Blu-ray discs and HD video content and sort of upscale it to, I don't know if it's upscaling it to 4K or whatever, but I guess it's sort of going to be doing the same thing that they used to do with when Blu-ray was out. They started with the DVD players that would take a DVD and sort of upscale that to you know, higher resolution, like a 1080p type of thing, and sort of use line doubling or some sort of technology to make the actual DVD look better than it would normally. So that's one of the things that's not actually exciting, but I had it in there for whatever reason. I downloaded a few Skyrim mods, and nothing exciting. One that makes the horses better apparently, but I actually haven't ridden a horse since I got it. A silly one, personal campsite, and one that actually increases the value of hides and skins and stuff. So when you're out hunting, you can actually make a lot of money just by killing stuff that you find and just selling the hides. I don't actually remember what the value of the stuff used to be, but I know that some of the stuff I've killed recently, I'm trying to actually think of the name of one of the things, like saber cat pelt is like 800. So that's pretty good, and I ran into 3-4 of them in a row, and I got all the pelts, and so every time I go into town, you just sell those, and you can get a pretty solid amount of money for that stuff. So that's pretty good. The M500 from Crucial, I mentioned this briefly last time, but I don't think I went into depth as much as I would like to, which I'm not going to go into that much depth anyway, but I just want to mention it again. So it's a 960 gigabyte, the highest model, which is one of the highest capacities for a consumer grade drive, I believe, and it's $600. So obviously 600 is a lot, but when you think price per gigabyte, you know, when you see like 120 drives for $120, $120, and that's a pretty good sort of $1 per gig, and that was considered and still is a pretty good price. But with this, you're getting 960 gigs for $600, so I believe that that's 62 cents per gig is what I heard, and so that's actually a lot less price per gigabyte. So if you look at it that way, it's actually a good value. And the only thing is that the performance is a little bit less than some of the other stuff, but 500 read and 400 write, that's really good. So that's really good. It's good. It's a great product. It's great value, and I like that. I'm it's nice to see things advancing in that way. Also, one of the things I heard on the this week in computer hardware, which is Ryan Trout and the guy from Revision 3, I actually forget his name at this point, but Ryan Trout was the Western Digital 4 terabyte hard drive, and they're using a little different than the Seagate ones. Apparently Seagate is using the 1 terabyte per platter technology, which they were using on the 3 terabyte drives. I have a couple of the 3 terabyte drives, and they perform extremely well. But Western Digital is doing something a little different. They're doing 5 800 gigabyte platters instead of Seagate's 1 terabyte per platter, so 4 1 terabyte platters. The Seagate one performs a little better, but the Western Digital one, I think, has a longer warranty. It's like a 5-year warranty, and I think the Seagate one's only 2 years. And that 1 terabyte per platter technology, what I heard is that it's a newer technology, and so it's less tested, and so their drives are, the Seagate one's a bit faster, but they're pretty, they're mechanical hard drives, and they're pretty comparable. So I had another video that I had recently up on the channel, some of you may have seen it, is I picked up an old, well, not an old, but a 1 terabyte Western Digital Black 64 meg cache, Serial J3, all that stuff, drive for a system that I was working on, and I did a quick run of Cinebench to, not Cinebench, Crystal Disk Mark, to sort of test the performance of that. And it was like 155 read, and you can see what it was by watching that video. So that was pretty, I've learned that that's pretty good performance for my mechanical drive. The Seagate 3 terabyte one is faster, but it's using that new 1 terabyte per platter technology. AnandTech, this one's from AnandTech, HTC One review, which I didn't read, but the HTC One is a gorgeous looking thing, and it's machined aluminum, so it's like a unibody chassis like the MacBook Pro. It's also got some interesting stuff, like the camera. They're calling it some special thing they're calling the camera, but it's 4 megapixels, and they're saying basically the pixels on some of the other phones are so dense that the actual ray of light that's supposed to be hitting it is actually bigger than the pixel. I think what it is. So it's kind of like just upscaling the image, and so these phones are like cramming lots and lots of megapixels into a tiny sensor. It's you won't necessarily get better image quality from that. It's in some ways it's like upscaling. So they're saying they're taking it in a different direction here. They're saying we're gonna give you a better, much lower megapixels, but it's supposed to be better quality images, or great quality images. And it's got a front-facing speakers, which is good because you don't have to like cup your hand around the back to get the speaker from the bottom to direct towards you when you're looking at it. So that's good. It's got You can see the grill here on the 4 speakers is so nice. Unibody construction with aluminum is so nice. It just looks outstanding, and it's just gorgeous. It is definitely you know, Apple level build quality, and you know, it's got, I think it's 4.7-inch screen, and you know, 1080p, all that stuff. It's got a smaller screen than, it might be 4.5. It's got a smaller screen than the S4, and it's 4.7 1080, yeah. And I think the S4 is bigger, 5 inches or something. It's bigger, so it's got the same resolution as the S4, but it's a smaller size screen. So the pixel density is really high. So the screen should look very nice as well. So I've never been really impressed with the build quality of a lot of phones, so it's nice to see extremely high build quality stuff like this coming out, and hopefully it will be really popular and sort of, you know, and sort of push the industry in a good direction in terms of increasing the standard for build quality. This is not new at all, but the Forme sort of enterprise level 2 terabyte drive. There's a Elric at Tech of Tomorrow had a video on that, and it's a 2 terabyte, 2.5 inch, 9.5 millimeter solid state drive. So that's obviously bigger than the than that new Crucial one, but that's an enterprise level drive, so it's a different class, and I'm sure it's, I never actually saw what the price was, but I'm sure it's a lot. Alright, good. This was an old one. It's actually not meant for today, but I'll have a look at. There's 2 forum software things that I had bookmarked here. This is from my group on Facebook that's like graphics design guys and IT guys and that sort of stuff. So Discourse, apparently this one's a little bit harder to set up than the other one, which is called Moot. So Goodbye Ugly Forums. Moot is a flexible and modern platform for online discussion, and it's free. This is from TechCrunch, April 5th, by Serial Perez. And so it's basically that sort of flat UI, really modern looking, really sort of fresh looking, kind of Windows 8-ish a little bit in terms of the flat design and sort of the modern look. So really nice. And Discourse is similar. Discourse has a tiny bit of drop shadow stuff, whereas Moot, I believe, is completely flat. Discourse mixes it's mostly completely flat, but it has a little bit of raised stuff with drop shadows. Both of them look really nice, and I was thinking when Linus was mentioning on one, I think it was not the last one, but the one before that, about all the extremely terrible experience that he's had and Slick's had with live vBulletin 5.0, the gold release of that. I was thinking, oh, well, these are a couple of good forum softwares, but they were saying they were looking at various ones, but they wanted one that will be able to import all the content from that's already there. So I have no idea. I have no idea whether that would be possible to import the live vBulletin stuff. I keep saying live, it's not live vBulletin, just vBulletin. I have no idea if it's possible to import that stuff, and I also have no idea if that's the aesthetic that they're looking for. So that was all the stuff that I had marked down. I'm just gonna have a peek at a couple of sites and see if anything piques my interest. The Plextor M5 Pro looks really nice. It has that sort of, it's silver, and it has like a brushed aluminum look to it, which is it's very minimal. It's when I was talking a minute ago, towards the beginning of the video about the Kingston HyperX Beast and how I like the actual Kingston logo down in the corner, but the actual HyperX Beast part it wasn't my favorite thing. This here, if you look up the Plextor M5 Pro or M5P, and you look at the silver version, and the black version is nice too, or maybe the black version is the M5M or whatever the other one is, but if you look at this, it's all silver with a nice plain, simple, minimal black Plextor logo that just says Plextor with the little logo on the left. That is the exact kind of design that I like, and the kind of design I'd like to see with some RAM sticks. For whatever reason, we're lucky enough to get some really minimal nice designs for stuff like SSDs, but unfortunately SSDs are usually sort of tucked away in the hard drive cage where you can't even see them. But on RAM, it seems like more of the designs are kind of shouty and flashy and, you know, a little bit gaudy in some cases. Here's one, an Antec Dell U3014 review. So this is, it's a 30-inch 2560 by 1600 screen. So this is exactly the type of thing that I am actually interested in. It says here, I'm not going to really cover it too much, but it basically says, in the last year, 27-inch 1440p displays went from being really high-end in the modern monitor food chain to becoming close to commodity items that you can buy off eBay for cheap from various vendors. It seems that there is a bit of a shift in the high-end display market where previously resolution was dictating the upper echelon, but now as we wait for 4K displays or Retina style PPI displays on the desktop, which I haven't even heard of, it's other features that are dictating the cost more. The newest reference display from Dell is the U3014, which takes the place of the U3011. It retains some of the same 2560-1600 resolution of a 30-inch display, but adds a few more noticeable notable features, including the DisplayPort MST support, which I don't even know what that is. But DisplayPort's nice. I like DisplayPort. I have a Cinnamon display, so it has DisplayPort as well. And it goes into the back of the, it goes into Mac sometimes, and it goes into the back of the 7950, because the 7950 has two DisplayPorts at the back. I would like to see cards in the future that just have the same thing they did with the new Retina MacBook Pro. It has a couple of Thunderbolts, and then if you want something that you're probably not going to need in most cases, like Ethernet or FireWire or something, you can just get a Thunderbolt 2 whatever converter dongle. So I'd like to see cards, instead of like having two display ports and a couple of other things including HDMI, I wouldn't mind seeing cards that just have 4 display ports or 6 display ports, and then whatever else you need, you could have a dongle for that. But obviously there's still tons of monitors that aren't DisplayPort. We're just starting to see DisplayPort on like non-Mac monitors and stuff. So I'm sure it'll be a while before we see that. But it's nice. I like DisplayPort. So this is actually really nice. A 30-inch 2560 by 1600. So I mentioned earlier that that's my favorite resolution. And so the conclusion is a great display with a few limitations. And so you can look that up. It's $1,500, I think. and so Dell 3014. Alright, so this is the stuff that's here. It's actually the same stuff, a lot of the same stuff that that I saw last time I looked here, so last week. I did see a rumor somewhere. I thought I bookmarked it for this, but it was saying basically NVIDIA rumored to announce 700 series at what was the actual one of those conferences, Computex maybe? Yeah, in June anyway. The point, it was June. So here on AnandTech there's something a little different, but it's 700 series related. It says NVIDIA's 700M family, full details and specs. So I'm not gonna go through this, but this is 700M series, so that's obviously 700 series. But I don't know the details now, so I won't talk about it much. But that's AnandTech. You can look there if you want. I'll just have a peek at PC Perspective before I go, and see if there's anything there that I want to talk about. I did notice in my email, I didn't watch them yet, but today I saw a bunch of frame rating videos, new frame rating videos. Basically some of the titles, Battlefield 3, 60 FPS versus 30 FPS, Sleeping Dogs, 60 FPS versus 30, and Sleeping Dogs 30 FPS versus VSync, Battlefield 60 FPS versus VSync, 60 FPS versus VSync for Sleeping Dogs, and 30 FPS versus VSync for Battlefield. So have a look at YouTube/PCPer, and you can see that frame rating stuff. It sounded really interesting when I heard about it. Haven't actually seen the videos yet, but I'm going to watch those. So here's PCPer, and I'll just have a quick glance at some of the stuff that's here. They had a Couchmaster review, which is that thing with the tray that has cable management on the bottom, and the two sections that go on either side of your legs, and the idea is you sit on the couch, and it's like a desk on top of your lap so you can play PC games on the couch. And apparently it actually works pretty good, and it's got some good stitching and stuff. I think it's made in Germany actually, and it's a small company, so it's from Nerdy Tech. So you can see PCPer, and you can look there. NVIDIA bundles Metro Last Light with GTX 660 and higher. So so that's good. I actually haven't even seen Metro Last Light. So that's how. So it's formally Metro 2034. So it's May 17th in North America release. No, 17th in Europe. May 14th in North America. I didn't even see this in the Steam thing, or I think I saw Metro something, but I was thinking that I remember the what was it, THQ was sold off recently, and the assets were split up amongst various companies, and so I heard someone bought Metro 2034, but I was thinking that it's gonna be longer before it actually comes out, because I didn't think it was actually finished and ready to come out. But I'm seeing here it is on Steam, and I did see it. Metro Last Light, I was looking for Metro 2034, and so I saw Last Light, and I didn't really I didn't sink in what that actually was, and so I didn't really look, and it just sort of flew past. There's a couple of keyboards that are not mechanical, but they are, sort of gaming functionality. One of them is the Roccat ISKU FX, and the other is the new Logitech G19. Linus had a video about that. Personally, I just don't see the point of paying. In the case of the G19, it's actually I think it was $269 on NCX, so that's twice as much as most of the mechanical keyboards on the market, and you're not even getting mechanical switches. So yeah, it has that screen and stuff, but I just can't see the point in that. And so Roccat ISQ FX is the same sort of thing. It's not mechanical, but it's got all that sort of fancy gaming stuff. And that's $99, so that's not as bad because it's not totally outrageous with the price. But the Logitech G19 is nearly 3 times the price of that, and you still don't get mechanical switches. But the 710 Plus, I had a look at that quick at the store, and it was really nice. I really liked the little orange trim at the edge, even though I don't even use macros, so I would rather just have it not be there. But I like the look of it, and I like the little bit of trim, and it felt good, it looked good, so I like the 710, and that's $139, so that's like half the price of the G19 as well, and it is mechanical. So I think I'm going to wrap it up now, and I will I'll be back with more videos on a regular basis. I will do this again next week, and I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope you are enjoying the videos. And tell your friends, like, subscribe, favorite, all that stuff, and I appreciate all that stuff. I also have today I filmed a demonstration of the new Apple podcast app, and I was trying to show that and all the changes and stuff. It turns out it's actually really hard to film the screen of like an iPod with a small 3.5 inch screen. It's actually really hard to film that, but I did get some usable footage, and so I will cut together a quick video on that and put that up. I also have the Nikon S8000 sample video that I shot a while ago that I never actually got around to putting up. I was meaning to, it's not that exciting, but I did want to have a sample video from each camera that I use and have, so I do have that. And then also I have here a couple of really old cameras here. One is the Canon G12, which is the camera that I essentially started digital photography with back in 2001/2002 and 2003, that sort of time frame. So before that I did have a couple of cheap film cameras and stuff when I was really young, but this was the first camera that I really sort of got into digital photography with. And if you go to my my website, andrevertour.com, and just go to selected photographs 2003, there's a set of 73 images from 2003 that were all shot with the G2. So I have that. I also have this here, which is the one of the next cameras I got. Yeah, in between the G2 I had the Canon A60, which was a really old camera. I think it was only 2 megapixels actually. So the highest that it would do was 1600 by 1200, but I usually shot at like 1024 by 768 because I had a really small memory card. So most of my photos from that sort of 2003, 2004-ish, when I wasn't using the G2, I was using that. So most of the photos from them then are like 1024 type of resolution. I have all that stuff on Flickr as well. If you go to archives, Taken On, and then 2003, 2004, you can see some of that stuff. And on the website as well. And then the next camera I had was the S50, Canon PowerShot S50, which was that one with the little sliding door on the front. You slid it open and it came on. I had that in 2005, and then that was a small camera, 5 megapixels. And then in 2006 I had this. I got this for Christmas, I think. And this is the Canon Pro 1. This actually came out in 2004, so it was a couple years old already when I got it. But this is one of those sort of, it's got a form factor that's sort of big, like a entry-level SLR, like a T4i Rebel type of thing. And it's got a big lens, big zoom, but it's fixed, so you can't change the lenses. And this one also had something really nice that I like, which is inside the viewfinder here, where the optical viewfinder would normally be. It had a little LCD screen, so during the day and everything, when you look through that, it's actually really nice. It's it's lit up because it's a screen, and you get the same sort of thing you'd see on the outside monitor. So you get what the camera computer is seeing, sort of. And I really like this camera. It's easy to hold. It's really old at this point, of course, but this was a great camera. This was really nice. So I have both of these, and just for fun, I might do like a quick look at both of them, just for fun. So that's a few other things that I have sort of planned, I guess. And also with the computer that I was working on, which was my sister's computer, the Asus X78, X58, sorry, Sabertooth. It seems like the Sierra J3 controller is acting up because basically we tried the SSD was disappearing and reappearing when it's connected to the Sierra J3. And when I tried that Western Digital Black 1 terabyte, it was doing the same. It was reappearing and disappearing. But since then, I've moved the Western Digital Black to the Sierra J2, and it's been fine on there. So it seems like the Sierra J3 controller, the Marvel controller, is dead, or not completely dead, but it's malfunctioning.